All the equipment is dressed and ready to go, but no place to go for the big date. All right, in order for this video to make sense, need for you to understand something. Past few days, recorded a couple of clips, but the infamous GoPro glitch struck again. Did not have any audio with a lot of those clips. So we're having to do what people in the film industry call a pickup. And that's where you recreate something that has already happened, but unfortunately was not able to be picked up on camera. Kind of a dirty little secret of the film industry. So keep that in mind as you watch the next several minutes. Just keep in mind that this is not real time. I'm just trying to describe what we went through the past few days, and then we'll also do a little bit of a voiceover on some other clips that can't really be created. Anyway, we were supposed to start wheat today. That's kind of what I had in my mind. Wheat physiologically is ready to go, but unfortunately because of rain, it's not dry enough to go. We had a little bit of rain last night. Was going to try to test out some wheat today, but with the rain last night, just too wet. Can't do it. And then there's rain forecast for dang near every day this week. So I have no idea when we're going to go cut wheat. It's ready. All my equipment's ready. Just the weather is not cooperating. So we're kind of faced with a dilemma that we normally don't have on this farm. We really ain't got much to do because we can't be in the field. We need to spray our cotton for thrips, but we can't be in the field, too wet. And all our equipment is ship shape, ready to go. Really not much else to do, but there is one little nagging problem we've been dealing with for a while. Zach and I are going to try and get that solved today. Anyway, that's in regards to our loader tractor. Here around the PTO, the rear end, started leaking quite a bit of oil. Instead of just staying wet, it's been kind of a little steady drip. Anyway, I thought it was a seal around the PTO. Replaced that. That didn't stop it. So after further investigating, there's several internal seals inside the rear end here, plus there's seals on these draft pins that the 3-point arms connect to, and it was leaking out both sides. So we're going to take this whole rear plate off the rear end that contains the PTO to get to those internal seals, and then the draft rod box, we're going to take that off to replace those seals. Anyway, Zach and I get down the shop, get this taken apart. I finally figured out how to get this rear end apart on the tractor. You want to see what the inside of a rear end on the tractor looks like? What we see here is the differential inside, and then this shaft coming out is what actually drives the PTO, hooks up onto all the gears on the back of the case. And over here on the bench, you got everything taken apart. There's the PTO clutch and drive gears and everything. And we had to take all of this apart to replace this little bitty seal right here. The little bitty seal was hidden up inside of this shaft right here that we had to pull out in order to get the seal out. And then there's also another seal down on there that we're going to replace also. But all that work for one little bitty seal. Over here on the bench, we got the draft control arms and pins, got bearings and seals. All of that had to come out to get to the seals. We're going to wind up replacing all of it. They just press it in each end of the housing there. A whole lot of beating and banging to get those things out. But we got all of our parts ordered. They should be in after lunch tomorrow. Then we'll get back on it then, get this tractor put back together. All right, the next day we got our tractor taken apart, and parts come in. All the parts weren't supposed to be in until right after lunch, so didn't really have anything else to do. Told Zach to take the morning off, and then woke up this morning. It was sunny. Field started to dry out, so I called him late morning, told him to come on in and get the sprayer loaded up. to get started spraying our cotton because thrips are starting to hammer us again, kind of remnants of last year. But no sooner had he gotten out here, getting ready to load up and check radar, and I know it doesn't look like it because it's a few days later, but anyway, rain was building to our south and coming up this way. Just started happening all of a sudden. But anyway, put the brakes on that. You know, there's no sense in spraying a $5 insecticide application only to have it washed off. So anyway, we're gonna get down here in the shop and get our tractor put back together. Hopefully, I remember how all these parts went together and we can put it back together and the PTO will actually work. And it'll be even better if it doesn't leak too. Before we do that, I'm gonna tell you about a little excitement we had yesterday. You know, Zach and I have been working in the shop all afternoon tearing the tractor apart. It's hot, I mean, it's muggy, it's June in Tennessee. And Zach gone home. I worked on Carter's four-wheeler for a little while longer, and before I got ready to go home, I was gonna have me an adult beverage, cool down a little bit. Anyway, sitting down, having my adult beverage to check the radar. There was a storm, there was a thunderstorm crossing the Mississippi River that actually went tornado warning. Good ways away from us, not worried about it at all. So I continued to check a few other things, and then all of a sudden my phone blew up with an alert. Tornado warning, Crockett County, located between Gadsden and Humboldt. Well, if you don't know where we're at, we're located in Crockett County, right between Gadsden and Humboldt. So ran outside the shop and looked, I mean, straight up, and there was a wall cloud rotating. No sign of a funnel cloud, but a rotating wall cloud is the precursor right before a tornado drops down. So anyway, I'm a trained weather spotter. First thing I did, I called the National Weather Service to report it in, let them know exactly where I was located. First time I ever gotten to make an official report to the National Weather Service. I felt proud of myself. Anyway, as soon as I did that, the wall cloud, it just passed over us. I ran up the grain bin there. Luckily I had my phone with me. I didn't have time to grab my GoPro to set up a time lapse, but with my phone, I was able to take a really good video of the wall cloud. And then once it was off a little ways, I was able to run up to the office, grab my drone and put it up in the air and get another good view of that wall cloud as it was going off in the distance. As far as I know, I don't think there was any damage. There was reports of an actual touchdown, nothing that I actually saw, but as far as I'm aware, there wasn't really any damage associated with it. So anyway, now that I called Zach in for nothing we're not able to spray, guess we'll both get here in the shop and get this, hopefully get this tractor put back together. All right, well there it is, all put back together, and looks like it's leak free. So we're got all the oil cleaned up in the shop. I'm gonna pull in there and let it sit on the concrete overnight and see if we got any fresh drips in the morning. Hopefully it's good and dry. The only thing we got to do till we head to the wheat field is sit around and twiddle our thumbs. Well, no, we got to spray cotton But we can't do that with all this rain in the forecast and the fields are too wet. So we'll have to spray cotton before we get the combine out. I don't know when that'll be.
We can work on our tans.
How you gonna work on your tans with no sunshine?
Yeah.
I know somebody needs some tan. Them legs, I think those legs are whiter than mine.
No, your legs are much wider. Oh, well, look at Jack's chicken legs over here.
No. Not after last weekend.
Oh, Matt wins.
No, I got hair making mine look darker than what they are.
I got burnt.
Tell me you're a farmer.
My feet got burnt.
Oh my God, they're still wet. They're still white. You guys and your chicken legs.
I got some sun last weekend.
Welcome to the adventures of Zach and Kelly. When you can't be in the field, you go cut tree limbs and trees down because your equipment hits all of it. So that's what we're doing today. Lumberjack. Huh?
You don't have to cut those limbs.
Yeah, I don't even.
That's too big a tree.
Never too big. Timber. It's like our 14th job on the farm is that we are the lumberjacks around here. So you've probably seen in previous videos that this goes all the way back there, and all of our equipment is catching these tree limbs. Plus, you know, the storms this year really done some havoc. So we're gonna cut an entrance to make sure the picker can get through here and the sprayer, since we have cotton over here. That's what we're doing on this glorious, gloomy day. It's very moist outside. Almost Gatlinburg-esque, Smoky Mountain kind of deal. And I lost the dog. Drake, come on! Dadgummit. Oh, there he is. Come on, you guys stay with us, buddy. Come on. This is so exciting, watching us push trees. I say it's just a tad bit wet. Just a tad. So we've made it to the end. Out here looking at this cotton, which the end rows look really pitiful, but once you start walking in, you'll start seeing it. But this is how wet it is. Look at this. The cotton looks kind of spotty, as you can tell, but it looks pretty good, pretty healthy for now. We do have some drip problems, but we can't get in the spray yet, so oh no. Kind of hoping this gets a little bit better, but it's also where the field kind of drains off. But you can start seeing, look, here you go. Yeah, I got some thrips eating. Definitely have to get out here and spray as quick as we can. This happens to be the most hated farm and the most loved farm because people say Gatlinburg, oh, it's so nice. Smoky Mountains, it's wonderful. But you know what? West Tennessee ain't too bad either now, is it? A hidden pond on our landlord's property in the middle. Can't wait till the fall and I can come down here on this road and take pictures. It's gonna be gorgeous. Yeah, Gatlinburg. Streams, mountains, it's beautiful. But how many people are there all the time? West Tennessee, y'all. I mean, people forget this is a whole half of the state. Every time they say, oh, you're from Tennessee? Are you from Nashville, Knoxville, Gatlinburg? No, we're from West Tennessee and it's still pretty here. Yeah, a lot of farmland, but sometimes you can't beat this.
I drilled it back in here. We've also got some forced child labor going on down here. Carter and one of his friends are loading up some scrap metal that I'm not going to need anymore. We'll take this to the recycling plant, and this is going to be some of our vacation money here. All this scrap metal might be able to buy us enough gas to at least get out of the state of Tennessee. Man, you just can't find good help anymore. The joys of kids. But you know what? This was me about 30 years ago. I did the same stupid things. Still not looking too promising today, but Helen did deliver some soybean seed. Getting ready for plant soybeans behind wheat. Kelly thinks there's a problem with this seed. No, those seeds have been treated. All we're getting is an inoculant seed treatment. We're not getting a chemical seed treatment on there, but there's a little bit of color, so those are fine.
Ahead of time.
Now those right there, those have definitely got some chemical treatment on there. Probably whatever they had left over in the mix vat when they started treating the beans. So those beans are okay.
Hey, Zach.
Go down.
You need to come this way.
Huh?
You getting it off the side? Yeah, it needs to come this way.
She's demanding, ain't she?
Go down it.
Well, the kids just about gotten all our vacation money loaded up in the trailer. And Zach and Kelly got the limbs trimmed on the drive and got the soybean seed loaded in the trailer. And the weatherman lied today. There was supposed to be like an 80% chance of rain all day today. Better than what we've had this week, but so far we haven't gotten any rain and none appearing on radar. Field's still pretty damp, but thrips are eating our cotton up and they need to be sprayed. Supposed to be good conditions tomorrow. We can't get on the fields today, so Zach and Kelly gonna get started spraying thrips and spraying sequence. I'm gonna overlay another residual herbicide on top of the break, just try and keep our cotton fields clean as long as possible. So definitely still not dry enough to go to the field and try any weed out. If it's sunny and kind of a little breezy tomorrow, maybe tomorrow afternoon, I don't know, just have to wait and see what the weather does. But it looks like Zach is loaded up and getting his booms primed and got 2 farms going to try and spray this afternoon and get the rest of it sprayed tomorrow.
Look at that, it's not raining anymore. Until tomorrow. Welcome to the adventures of Zach and Kelly again, and we're gonna be spraying.
All right, with Zach and Kelly out spraying and literally everything else around the farm fixed, I'm reduced to sharpening lawnmower blades. This weather's got to turn sometime quick.
Alright, so we are finally back out in the field. It was questionable at first because it has slowly but surely turned into the Amazon rainforest in West Tennessee. And it's been wet. And we sure enough thought that it was going to be way too wet to get in these cotton fields. Rut them up and make just an absolute mess. They are actually holding up way better than I ever would have imagined them holding up. Been out here since about 8:30 this morning, so hopefully we'll get it all knocked out in the next, I don't know, 2-3 hours.
What a beautiful day. I mean, the sounds of nature just all around me. It's wonderful. Can you hear the sounds of nature? It's just, oh, it's beautiful. You gotta love farming in a city.
All right, before Zach kills all the tiny critters out here, I want to show you exactly what we're spraying for. You see, our cotton's progressing a little bit. It doesn't look absolutely awful, but it definitely could look better, and I'll show you some good looking cotton here in just a few minutes. But what we're spraying for today is thrips, and it's tiny sucking insects that suck the juice and everything out of these cotton plants. And when the cotton plant is young like this, you know, sucking the nutrients and other stuff out of the plants just really makes it struggle. And when it's cool, cloudy, and damp, you know, the cotton's really not actively growing much, and it's got these insects feeding on it, and cotton just doesn't have enough power to really grow up out of it. Now, on a day like today, when it's warm, sunny, and everything, the cotton's actively growing, and it should be okay. But being we've had 4 straight days of cloudy, rainy weather, it's supposed to be cloudy and rainy again tomorrow, so we're wanting to go ahead and take care of these thrips. But this cotton right here is about 4 leaves, so it's almost out of the stage to where it can start growing robustly enough to outgrow the thrips. To get the thrips, you just beat them against your hand. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 thrips, and you really can't see them. You might be able to see them moving around. There were 6 thrips on that one cotton plant. With cotton this young, you can probably get away with 1 thrip per plant. If it's sunny, with really good growing conditions, you know, maybe 2 thrips per plant, but 6 thrips per plant. And now I haven't figured up the average. That was on 1 plant, but there's definitely enough thrips out here to spray this cotton. If you look at these leaves right here, you see how they're really kind of crinkled up and everything. That is a sure sign of thrip damage right there. They should be, you know, bigger like this. Even this was crinkled up a little bit, but they should look closer like this. But when it's shriveled up like that, that is a clear sign of thrip damage. So we're making 1 more pass of acephate on our cotton. Should clear these thrips up long enough for the cotton to get enough of a head start to where it can outgrow any kind of thrip pressure, and also putting down some sequence, which is Roundup and metachlor. The metachlor is another residual we're putting down on here just to blanket our residual herbicides to, you know, try and keep this cotton as weed-free as possible. But overall, you can tell, I mean, we've got a decent stand. It's not a perfect stand, and there's a few areas of the field that's a little thinner, but you get areas like this, I mean, you know, the cotton's 4 leaf, but you can tell it's definitely struggling. And that's due to a combination of the weather and the thrip pressure. Even though we've already sprayed once for thrips, just not good enough growing conditions for the cotton to really outgrow the thrip pressure. So, but this insecticide application ought to take care of any kind of pests that we'll have experiencing cotton over the next few weeks. And we shouldn't have to tend to our cotton any while we're in the wheat field getting our wheat crop out. So now that I showed you this cotton, I'm going to take you to the back part of the field where we've got our Thrive On cotton planted, and just show you the stark contrast between cotton that does not have the Thrive On trait versus cotton that does have the Thrive On trait.
We may live in the country, but the city is overtaking our country. So we're out here in this beautiful cotton field. I mean, it looks all right. It ain't nothing to call home about right now. It's hard to see the cotton because of the cover crop, but if you look closely down the rows, you can see it. Now the rule of thumb is we want 37 plants within 13.5 feet. So this is doing pretty good. We're spraying for this cover crop starting to come back. We're also spraying for weeds and these little bugs that are eating up our cotton. Can't really see them, but I mean, beautiful day. And it's supposed to rain again tomorrow, so yay.
All right, here we are down here in bottom, same farm with our Thrive On cotton. And man, look at this, look at those leaves, not crinkled at all, nice and shiny and pretty. This is the way cotton is supposed to look early season. I mean, this looks night and day difference than the cotton that we just looked at. Now, there's no signs of crinkled leaves. I mean, that looks a little crinkled, but that's kind of the way new leaves look. But I mean, there's been no thrip pressure whatsoever. And I'm not saying a single thrip on this plant. I think I checked one other a little while ago and saw one on there. No thrip pressure whatsoever. That Thrive On BT technology is lethal to the thrips. So, I mean, this cotton doesn't look as tall, leaves not quite as big, but that's most likely just a difference in the variety. Probably doesn't have as good early season vigor as the other variety. Maybe takes a little bit longer to get going. This is more of a mid-maturing variety than the other one that we looked at, which was an early season variety. But this maturity is not being delayed by thrips at all. That is the way cotton's supposed to look. And this is the way cotton used to look, you know, 15 years ago when we were still using an in-furrow insecticide like Timic at planting, which was great on thrips. You know, once those in-furrow insecticides started getting really hard to get and getting expensive, a lot of growers switched to a seed treatment insecticide, which is what we've been utilizing for a while, and it's just not as good as an in-furrow granular treatment. And the insecticides on the seed just don't last as long, and they're not as effective on early season thrip pressure. They do offer some control, but definitely not perfect control. But this Thrive On technology looks really fantastic. And you know, we got a little bit of a skippy stand down here. But this cotton will fill out, and you know, ultimately shouldn't be any problem getting close to 100% yield potential down here. Well, I've definitely seen enough out of this Thrive On cotton this year to know that it's going to give me a definite benefit in getting the cotton up and setting fruit earlier without any delayed maturity that we've been seeing out of all the other cotton we plant due to thrip pressure. And it's something that I'm definitely going to be taking a long, hard look at in the future when this technology is commercially released.
We're about to put a wrap on our second pass across the field for thrips. They normally get fired up this time of year when the wheat starts dying off. They'll move to the next best thing, which is cotton plants, which are just starting to pop up out of the ground. Get the sprayer serviced. We actually had it serviced for burn down for wheat harvest. Had to kind of change gears because of the rain. So I'm gonna head back to the shop, top this thing back off the diesel, service it, have it ready to go, so when the wheat's ready, the sprayer's gonna be right behind it, spray and burn down.
I showed you the cotton. I want to give you a quick update on the corn. Man alive, don't this look beautiful? This corn's definitely gotten a taste of that nitrogen we put out, and this stuff is growing fast. It got really nice dark green color, and this stuff's really starting to take off. Even though we haven't had great conditions for cotton, we've had some pretty good conditions for corn. Corn likes temperature just a little bit cooler, and of course the rain's liking this rainfall. And then on a day like today, got ample soil moisture, plenty of sunshine. It's loving days like today. And you can still see we got a lot of cover crop residue on the ground, really helping keep weeds coming up. Our chemicals still holding. We're completely weed free. You know, right now at this point in time, still got a long ways to go, but we're still at almost maximum yield potential. Just kind of depends on what happens here in June and July. This corn's got about just a hair over 2 more months of growing and grain field before it's done, so a lot could happen in that time. But right now this corn looks absolutely fantastic. Really tickled with my corn crop so far this year.